Welcome to Better Daily Life, where we are moving forward 1% better every single day. Download the app and supercharge your journey at betterdaily.life. Now it's time to ditch facts and get facts with your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Monday. It is Mindset Monday, and the mindset today is cut it out. I'm very excited about this mindset with you. I know. If you're watching this live in Better Daily, the app, then you're like, Alex, it is not Monday. It is Tuesday. And don't you worry, yesterday was a travel day for me, so that means that today you are blessed with 2 whole lives. Get excited. So this is me catching up. All right. Cut it out. This is a really fun mindset, and it's a very painful one. So, well, I'm not going to apologize. Let's just do it. So this past weekend, I got the opportunity to visit family, and one of my family members had particularly overgrown hedges. And I'm not just talking about like they were a little crazy and the branches were all over the place. They were like trees, okay? Like hedges that were towering over the house. They had gotten completely out of hand. And so, well, we had to do some pruning. And it was, I still have some scars, man, like, because these weren't just any ordinary hedges. They were holly bushes. They were like the prickly ones. The holly bushes are these evil leaves with like just big spikes on the end of every single leaf. It's like trimming these hedges were like wrestling with a prickly bear. That's what it was like. Well, at one point there was a chainsaw involved. There were hacksaws and it wasn't like, oh, look. Like a tomato plant. You ever pruned a tomato plant? It's like you got little thinning shears. You're like Bob Ross the painter. You're like, oh, look at the happy little tomato plant. He's got a little branch that's a little out of place. Like, oh, we're just gonna snip it right there so he can make some wonderful tomatoes. No, it was like, and it's falling. Look out, timber! And throwing bushes into a big truck and hauling them out. It was crazy. Why are you talking about this, Alex? Because in the betterment journey, oftentimes, there is pruning that needs to happen. You need to cut it out. There are things in your life that are holding you back from moving forward. That's actually what pruning does to a bush or a tomato plant or a tree. What pruning is branches that have grown that are stealing resources. They're stealing bandwidth from the organism of the plant so that new growth and fruit can't be produced. It's kind of stagnant. It's growing in a way that it's not supposed to. It's not producing the fruit that it's supposed to. And there are times in your life when there are things that are pulling bandwidth from you, pulling resources. Because in a tree or a hedge or whatever, this branch that has grown into your power line is stealing energy from the ground. It's pulling water from the ground. It's pulling minerals, and it's continuing to grow into your power line. and you're like, no. I'd prefer that you don't tear my power line off my house. And so you have to chop that branch off. Why? Well, it's going the wrong way. We need this hedge, this tree, this bush, whatever, to grow in the way that it should grow. And the same thing with tomato plants, right? So you got a plant going up like this. I'm an amateur gardener at best. So if I say something stupid, please, you masterful horticulturists, please correct me if I say something crazy. Because I tend to work with human bodies, not plants so much. But there's a good metaphor here, right? So there's the plant that grows up the middle. It's the stalk. It's the stem. It pulls all the nutrients from the ground. And then there's the branch that comes off of it. And then there's these little sucker branches. These are tomato plants. Sucker branches that come out here. Well, they're going to steal resources from the rest of the plant to keep growing in this direction. And, to the plant seems like a great idea. More sunlight. Yeah. And we're going to grow taller. Yeah. But that actually keeps the fruit count low. Makes it hard for the plant to distribute resources for more fruit. And that's the thing for you when you're on your betterment journey and you have habits, let's say, or environments, let's say, or material things, let's say, or maybe even relationships that are holding you back from your betterment journey that are making the 1% better in your day harder and harder and harder, they need to be cut out. You gotta cut it out. You gotta stop it. That's the thing. With a tomato plant, it's just scissors, you know? That's the nice thing. It's like, oh, little sucker, Bob Ross style. Little sucker right there. But if you're a prickly holly bush, sometimes you just gotta get the chainsaw out, man. And then watch out, because when that prickly, terrible branch falls on you, it's gonna hurt. Sometimes cutting stuff out of your life that is holding you back and is not helping and is making you grow in a wrong direction, sometimes that hurts. Sometimes it hurts real bad. But I'm telling you to do it anyway. You gotta cut it out. You gotta cut it out. It might be a food habit that you have going on a regular basis. I have a client right now who he's wrestling with a very, very large weight loss journey. And he's made he's made some amazing strides in the last 3 weeks. You know what he did? You know what he did recently that it just blew his mind, made a huge difference in his life. So he has a big breakfast, right? And, well, he wasn't having a big breakfast. It was like, I'm in a big hurry. I can't do breakfast. And so it was a real quick breakfast. And then throughout the day, he'd be pretty dang hungry. And, well, he has a lot of work to do. He's got a big, important job and lots of people and things pulling him in different directions. And so he's like, I need to eat something quick. And so he has a lot of somethings quick. There's quick protein shakes and there's quick fast food and there's quick snacks at the break room. And then when really hungry, there's the candy bowl outside. And some people can get away with that. Either with their conditioning or maybe their genetic heritage, they can get away with all these small things not adding up. But for him specifically, it was really messing with his insulin system. And then he would get home and maybe there was something hard dinner circumstances, maybe poor planning, maybe the family had something crazy going on. And so he would start his day strong. But as the day went on from a food perspective, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. You know what's crazy? What we did is we actually increased the amount of food he eats at the very beginning of the day. Like a lot, like, hey, look. You can't control a lot of what else goes on in the day, but one of the things you can control is you can get up a little earlier and you can cook like double or triple the food that you're used to in the morning. And you can sit down to a good breakfast with the family and you can munch that down. And then, during the day when everything's kind of crazy and there's no good options, there's really not, because he's not a big sardine guy. Wink, wink. How about you fast? And how about when you get to dinner at night, you're hungry enough that you're like, man, I'm going to make this a great meal. I'm going to spend some time cooking. I'm going to put things together. Maybe at the beginning of the week, I'm going to plan meals dinner-wise. I'm going to have to buy a little more food since I'm eating more in the morning and less on the go. So that middle of the day, we're just going to cut it out. Those bad habits, like that crummy eating at the desk thing, we're just going to cut it out. Forget it. We're not doing it. We don't need to. And you know what's crazy? He has seen more progress in the last month in his weight loss journey than he's seen in at least the last 8. Being active, conditioning, working out, getting rest, and cutting out the crap that's not helping him. I have another client who has a friend. I'm going to put friend in quotes because a friend wants the best for you. A friend wants what's best for you, almost by definition. So a friend who's enabling your terrible habits is not really a great friend. Now, maybe they're on their own journey. Maybe they need to cut some stuff out too. But when you're on your betterment journey, there are times in your life where you need to distance yourself from relationships that are holding you back, that are hurting you over time. And, well, that looks different for different people and maybe a topic for a whole another day. But what I will say to you is that if you'll take a step back and look at the branches of your life, look at the growth and say, what do I need to cut out of this? And if you get really real with yourself about whether or not this is a scissors project or a chainsaw project, and you prepare yourself for a little bit of pain because growing is painful, it will change your week, it will change your month, it will change your life. So my mindset today is cut it out. Jesus said in the Gospels, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out, because it would be better to lose your eye than your whole body. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Because it'd be better to lose your hand than your whole body. He's not saying that we need to be walking around with a whole bunch of one-armed people in the world. What he is saying is, if there are parts of you that are actively working against you on this betterment journey, you start noticing them, cut them out. You don't need it. You don't need that thing. You don't need that habit. You don't need that person. What you need is to move forward. And I think that you will be so surprised at the new growth that happens. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Thank you so much for joining me for Mindset Monday. Until tomorrow, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% better. Be you, just better, in mind, body, and spirit. Go to betterdaily.life, download our app, and check out our 5-star coaching resources. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.life today.